Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we talk about mental health, which can be accessible and affordable for everyone. Uh, doesn't matter. Every day, every night, wherever you need it, you can talk to someone. Hello, my guests soon join in the process. Um,
Hi.
Hello, happy to see you.
Yeah, same here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you agreed to talk about such an inspiring and intriguing thing what you built because everyone here, I suppose everyone who will listen to our live, they have in mind the big project, maybe not so big, but with such a big impact, international impact, and a mission not everyone has. And what you now in process, like you're building, this is amazing and so ambitious.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, and maybe you introduce yourself, how the better to describe how you name yourself.
Yeah, I'm Kuhu. I'm the founder of Amber, which is basically an AI therapist, which makes therapy accessible 24/7. So we're trying to make therapy accessible, available, and affordable. That being said, I don't think it is a replacement for traditional therapy rooms because I'm a big fan of traditional therapy. I've been to therapy myself. But it is more for moments like, when you don't really have someone to talk to. The best example I usually give is you have a meeting you're going to and you're really, really stressed. You really wouldn't go to your therapist for
Mhm.
that. So, you just go to Amber and then you just sort of type that, hey, I'm really anxious. I have a meeting to get to. Can you help me? Or, can you talk me out of it or make me feel better? Something like that. So I would say it's for quicker moments, or even if you want a deep dive, you can do that. But as I see it, it's more of a bridge between um, traditional therapy and making it more accessible.
Mhm, mhm. I have some question. Actually,
Yeah.
this I discussed that idea with my colleagues, with the therapists from different modalities, and they mostly how it could be, and they, like I write down some questions, um, and I'm just will check in my
Yeah.
list, like not to not to lose something from this. Um, you already mentioned that this is about like seems like discussion, and there is some script for different types of personalities, or he can propose like body scanning or yoga nidra or breathing technique, like let's breathe five, like here there. What is the script like, and how he measure the differences between different personalities, because sometimes can be suicidal ideas, and it can be we can find out through vocabulary analysis or some emotional trigger words or something, like how like Amber thinks, like let's say.
So, first of all, we've trained the AI, which is basically in the back end. We've trained it in a way that it has information from the latest therapy papers. So, anything that a therapist would sort of read, and this is me really oversimplifying it, anything that a therapist would read, it has all the knowledge. So, it knows how to, take you through the cognitive behavioral therapy route, or it can take you to a different route where you really, redirect your thoughts or whatever works for you. But it can also do things like, calm you down. So it would ask you things like, do you want to try a 5 minute quick breathing technique? So it basically is the internet but specifically, or I would say not internet, I would say ChatGPT, but specifically for therapy. The thing that we've done is, not make it like generalist AI tools like ChatGPT or Claude, Anthropic, or whatever, Gemini or whatever. It's not generalist, so you cannot ask it to make a grocery list for you, right? It will say, no, I cannot do that, because it is trained only on consumer data and how you're feeling, different personalities, different kind of thoughts and interactions. This is very recent. Yesterday, we launched Memory for our customers, so users. In that, basically, it makes, for example, I tell Amber my life story, and it sort of starts remembering that, okay, she gets anxious in meetings, and this is the way she talks. For example, she uses humor to cope with, so it's a coping mechanism, and it can sort of try to bring that up in conversations and be like, do you want to talk about it? Or these are the ways that we can try to talk about it instead of using humor as coping mechanism. So those are the things that we've trained the entire model on. It is very, very specific to the user. So it's not very generalist, like it's not gonna keep asking you more and more questions. It's not going to lead the conversation like ChatGPT or any other generalist AI tool would.
Mhm.
It's more user-led. So whatever the user needs in the moment, that's how it sort of, gets to a conclusion or answers your questions or makes you feel better in the moment. So it would ask you, how you're feeling, this and that. But I also always mention it, and it's also mentioned in the website, and the chatbot also um, reiterates it that it's not a replacement for therapy. And if you're really going through, if you're suicidal or if you're going through something really, really bad, I'm not the right, or Amber would say that I'm not the right person to be helping you. And it would list down all the kind of helps that you can use. So all the hotline numbers, or what do you call them? Helpline numbers, and um, emergency services. And it would really talk you down, because I keep testing it, to make sure that it is in the right
Mhm.
headspace. We don't
Mhm.
want anything bad happening, because sometimes users can come in which can be suicidal. It hasn't happened yet, but
But
we never know.
potentially could be.
It can be. So we've tested it out that I literally wrote, I want to kill myself. And it really, really goes like, these are the helpline numbers that you can
Mhm.
talk to, XYZ. And then it really, talks you out of it. So it also, not, it won't leave you at, go away, call a helpline number, because it knows that you're in crisis mode. So it really switches into crisis mode and tries to calm the other person down. Um, but yeah, that's essentially how I would explain what it does and
Mhm.
how we have safeguarded it around. But yeah, we're trying our best to take as much user feedback and build it as robust as we can.
Mhm. And when firstly we talk about that, you mentioned that you are not actually IT specialist and you learn programming through that.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
and you're brave enough. It's like you absorb new specialization exactly for building Amber.
yes, I did. I was working in marketing before before this. So I was working for tech companies, but I did not know how to code myself, or know how to sort of train an AI model, or all of these things. But last year I took like a 3 month break, and I was like, no, if I need to, run a startup, and if it is that technical of an idea, I need to know how to really, really make it work. I need to know how to fix it, and I also need to know how to build it, because I'm a solo founder and I'm bootstrapping at the moment. You really need to stay very, very lean. You cannot spend, I couldn't spend money on hiring a technical
Yeah.
co-founder or something. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna have to do it myself. But I think in this world where AI is so much around, it's really, really easy to do that, as it would be, 5, 6 years ago when we didn't have these helper tools. So I just used whatever resources I had to me, and I just was like, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to learn how to do it.
Yeah, yeah. But this is also so important when I have the idea, for example, and I see the steps I should take to make it real,
Yeah.
some people they stop, like they like, oh, it will be too complicated, I should learn, I'm sure I will struggle, I don't know. But what inspire you not to give in, like to continue and continue, and because it's when you say affordable 24 per 7, it means that you experience, like, this is from your personal story, like this is important for when I need someone to talk, and I cannot pay the high rate for super qualified but expensive therapist. uh,
Um, yeah, I think it definitely. I think if you're taking on something as hard as, being an entrepreneur, running your own business, I think you really need to be passionate about what you're doing. Otherwise, you really, really would give up. And there's still moments where I'm like yesterday, I just took the day off and I was like, no, I'm just gonna binge watch because I'm so in over my head. But what gets me back to working is usually I really wanted to help people, but it's also very, very personal to me that when I was, 16, I shifted cities, and it was really hard for me. And especially coming from a place like India, where therapy is, I don't know about today's landscape there. I think it's still opening up quite a lot. But when I was younger, 16, that's like, yeah, 2015 or something, it wasn't as talked about, or I really wasn't able to go to my parents, so I wasn't able to get the right help. So what I used to do is either Google, or I had this community platform called Seven Cups, I think, where you can basically talk to strangers. And really, those platforms don't help. They made things worse for me. I really felt like I
mhm,
was alone, and I did not have the money to pay a therapist because it was really expensive. So I do think that therapy is a luxury. So if you have the money, only then you can access a good therapist. And also, for me personally, when I couldn't find any help, I was just in too deep. Till I came to the Netherlands, I was studying, and when I was broke again, I had no money and I still needed a therapist, and I just didn't have anyone to talk to. Thankfully, I had, a decent enough support system that I could really talk to people. But there are people who don't really have that robust of a support system. I think I was 19 when I got my first big fat paycheck. Then I could go and take therapy. So that was like a big, and even then, I wasn't able to find the right therapist for me. My first therapist told me that, you're being too much. Your vibe is affecting my vibe, and I really thought that it's me all along. So it really wasn't great, and it took me after 2021 or something. It took me 3 4 years, like last year 2024, I found the correct fit for my therapist. And after that, she went on a sabbatical. So, these things keep happening, and I didn't have anyone to talk to. And I talked to so many more people, and they were like, yeah, we can't afford therapy, or we don't want to go because we feel like we're going to be judged, XYZ. So that's, something that really keeps me going, that it happened with me when I was a child. Even today, it happens that I'm not feeling okay and I want someone to talk to, and my therapist is on a sabbatical. What am I supposed to do? So I think that's sort of what fuels the whole fire, I would
mhm.
say.
Mm-hmm. But now you have in mind to propose the Amber, firstly to the companies to support the workplace environment, and I also remember that these conversations should be confidential. Like when my employee talked to Amber, I am will not receive the information, and it means that I can blame my
Yeah.
my boss
Yeah.
and absolutely for free and enjoy.
Yeah, you can. I think so Amber, before it was Amber, it was Espresso, and that was a workplace well-being platform. While I was doing a lot of research on it, I found out that a lot of companies share their employee, what are those called? The employee assistance programs helping, etc., etc., they share the surveys with the HR and essentially the managers, and that's counterproductive. Like, why would you do that? So what we've done, and we're running a pilot program with companies to have Amber on board in their, whatever communication channel they use, and it's completely confidential. No one knows. So you can bitch about your boss as much as you want, and no one's gonna know, not me, and especially not your boss or your HR, because that makes no sense if you're really struggling with your manager. Because I struggled with my manager at some point of time, and I couldn't write it on the survey that, hey, I really, really dislike her, because yeah, I couldn't do that. She would probably get to know about it. So, yeah, it's completely confidential. You can say whatever you want, and no one's gonna know.
Hmm. This is interesting how the company react on that, because some of like corporation, it's quite like slavery, you know. I need productive and efficient people, and how much they care about well-being and burnout prevention.
Um, I think it's pretty sad, I would say, that they do want to bring in these EAP, platforms, but they don't want to put in the hard work or ask their employees what they need. And most of the time, it's just, it is just to tick another box that, yeah, we care about mental health. But I've met so many people who are like, and I've met so many people who have these assistance programs in their workplace environment, and they're still like, I'm going through burnout. I hate my manager. I hate my job. This is not a good place to be working in. So even I don't think we're there yet with these with workplace well-being. We're just not there yet. The companies are not as
Mhm.
open. They're not, yeah, they're not willing to spend a lot of money on it as well. They need something which is cheap, and, something that can just, they can just put it like a quick fix. That's what they want.
Mhm.
So they're not open to super innovative platforms or even like putting in any of the hard work. But there are some companies which are upcoming, which are more, people forward, who really understand that if you want your employees to be productive, you really need them to be doing well mentally, because it's really correlated. There are studies on it. So there are some companies, mostly those are startups. I would say bigger corporations, it's more, yeah, like you said, slavery. A lot of it is like that.
Mhm.
But I really hope it would change sometime in the future.
I suppose you are, like the role model for India and for this field also, because you remember the time when it was closed and there is not affordable and these like, and it's changed through your life, and then this is also the good thing to really feel that what you do, what you spending your life for, it's really valuable. Like, I'm fighting for the better world, and I spend my life for really for valuable things, and not only for me but for others, because this is battle actually not for you personally. This is for some people who need that, and then they are waiting for. But you should struggle on the way to make it happen. And this is
Yeah.
some kind of mission. Do you feel it like the mission?
Yeah, it is. You're being too nice. I'm not a role model or anything. Yeah, I think it's just a mission for me. I really like reading my users say that they, found it in the darkest of hours or whatever, or, this was so helpful for me. I had no one to talk to. I have customer feedback. I get customer feedback almost every day. Some people just come back to me and they're like, I love Amber, like just that plain and simple three, 4 words. And, it really makes my day, because for me, that's at the end of the day, that's all I really wanted, that I'm able to help people with all the good intentions that I had. And I'm able to help people get something that I didn't have when I really needed it. So yeah, I think it's definitely a mission mission for me to,
Mm-hmm.
make mental health more accessible.
Yeah. And how many users you already have?
We have 500 users. We're getting new users every day. I think it's, yeah. going
And
nice.
you advertise it, or how you
I do advertise it. I think that's one of the main routes. I'm not really good with organic social media, to be honest.
Mhm.
But we do have a lot of word of mouth going on. And we're also talking to a lot of therapists who are open to opening themselves up to like even like yourself, opening up to the world of AI, and they're seeing that AI is here to stay. So we're talking to a lot of therapists who are like, we want to recommend Amber to our clients, so they can use it instead of generalist AI tools. So that's like three, four ways that we're really getting users.
Yeah, and how many countries involved?
A lot. I think we have from the US, here from the Netherlands, we have a lot of users from India as well. France, UK, a lot. I don't even remember
And
the demographics.
yeah, and Amber working in English, or it's no problem with any translation?
No, you can talk to it. I haven't advertised it super well on my website, but you can talk to it in whatever language is native to you. It's going to talk back to you in your local language.
Hmm. I'm just know that some languages is so well translated, but for example, Arabic,
Hmm.
because my husband speak Arabic and I try to find some information, and when we trying to translate, I think that Arabic is not translatable.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah. No, I think because at the core of it, it is an AI product. It does talk to you exactly like yeah, you would talk to someone else in Arabic because we do good point you bring up because we did have someone who was talking to Amber in Arabic and the conversation went pretty long. So yeah, I think it really does the whole translation thing very well. Even to test it out, I talked to it in my native language and it was able to give back to me pretty accurately.
And how you teach him or you connect Amber with some translator? Uh,
No,
how it's working?
so because in the back end, it's I don't know if you've heard of Anthropic. It's also like OpenAI, which runs ChatGPT. So it's like a competitor for OpenAI. We use Anthropic, so they have their own AI models in the back end. So those models basically know everything that, for example, ChatGPT would, and you can just plug it in and train it in the way that you want it to. So that's probably where it gets the whole language and translation from. So you don't really need to connect it to a translation app or anything else.
This is really big data, when we talk about the feed, about the types of clients or conversation or symptoms or all that, the therapist information. And now we talk about translation. This is also like huge, like all that languages and translation. And this is like servers, like the places where actually Amber live. Like it lives in Netherlands or it's somewhere in the brain of computer.
I think it's in the brain of computer if you would call it. I won't dive too much into the technicals because it's in the basically you would say it's in the cloud, so it doesn't really live anywhere except I would say my backend, and then it really is just in the air. No one
uh,
knows. Except maybe my boyfriend knows because he's more of a AI whiz and he'd probably have a better answer than I have.
um, I,
But yeah.
I'm just trying to imagine because it's really if you have Amber, and by the way, why Amber? How you choose the name for your baby? It's like
Uh,
a
I
baby
don't
born, growing.
honestly. I just asked Claude to suggest some names for me. Claude is like ChatGPT. I was like, yeah, I need some names. I needed it to be more personal, but also not very companion-like. I needed it to be, soft, and that's why we have accents of orange going on because it's a very, very calming color. And amber is, I think it means red, or it is a color basically. So that's how we came up. I came up with the name. It was really just like to anything, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, okay, okay. I'm just have the idea like when you mention the person who like, oh, it's exactly what I need to hear today, and it's make my day. I'm just thought that maybe for some people this Amber can become the only one person who like I feel heard, I feel seen, supported, and absolutely loved. Like and this is so, and after that my next idea that why I should like I choose Amber more and more if I have toxic environment and the people who absolutely like destroy me. I see the future of humankind surrounded by lovely robots
Yeah,
who speak nicely.
I think that's true. Robots do speak nicely to you than most humans would. I've had this thing on LinkedIn where a post really blew up for me, and I don't know what like people were really mean, and some of the people were really good, but people were also mean. So people can be really mean, and I believe that I haven't had ChatGPT say to me that, hey, you're dumb, or something's wrong
Yeah,
with you, or you know, you should just go away.
yeah.
You can't do this. As even as a female founder, I've been told many times, you can't do this. But at the end of the day, I go to ChatGPT and he's like, no, you can do this. So it really helps me. And this is
Empowering.
not even more on emotional side. I think Amber can really you can feel really seen with an application like this. And it's not just because I built it that I'm saying this, but I've seen this with my users that they really feel seen and heard and not judged at the end of the day.
Yeah, this is so important thing you mentioned that you are actually female founder in the
Yeah.
world which made for men, and the man can just be a founder or taking leading roles, and then we have this conversation about the like if you are the female leader you are a bitch,
Yeah.
and if you are the male leader, oh, it's
Oh,
really brilliant, everybody loves you,
yeah.
and if you're the female it's like something
Such a
wrong
bitch.
with that girl.
Yeah, yeah. I get that a lot. I think just yesterday, that's why I spent the day binge watching TV, was because I've had these interactions like day after day. I think I went to someone's place and we had a recorded podcast and something. And like he says to me that, only 2% of female founders get funding. I'm like, I know the stats. I'm living the stats. I know those. You don't really need to throw them on my face. And then he goes like, just because, so just for context, my boyfriend also has his own startup. He has an AI startup and he is a solo founder. So I would say I check all the boxes too. And he tells me that just because your boyfriend did it doesn't mean that you're able to do that too. And I was just like, excuse me, really? And I didn't know what to say because I would like to think that I'm a nice person, so I didn't go back to him and I was like, what do you know? But in retrospect, I should have said that. I should have said that, what do you know? How many companies have you built? But I didn't say anything. At the end of the day, just smiled and nod and came back really frustrated. So I do get a lot of idiots, I would say, trying to tell me what to do, giving me unsolicited advice, mansplaining me my own product. Someone came to me in an event saying, I can build your product overnight. I'm like, please go ahead and build the product. Go do whatever you want. Why would you say that to me? So yeah, it's a funny people.
That you should be strong enough to not be, you know, like hurted,
Yeah,
because it hurts actually.
it
It's
does.
you should have, stronger skin,
Yeah,
like to feel like, okay, just this is bullshit. Okay, I'm continuing. This is bullshit and this is idiots. Like not to take personally, because this is the thing that sometimes, like if I say that you have green hair, you will never think like I have brown hair, not green. But when we hear something about our capability, about our like what we deserve and who we are as a women, it's so often we take really seriously. Like
yeah,
if someone undervalue me, like it's like liquid, somewhere going, and maybe I'm truly like bullshit. And this is so yeah, this is, I don't know, like you're great in that. If you continue and continue, that means that you're not soft actually. And
I
maybe
don't
after
I don't think so. Honestly, I think I'm a very, very, my mom always said I'm very sensitive. And it might be true. I am very sensitive, but I think I'm so focused because I see the good that, I have these many customers. People are really liking my product. I've done great things. I can do this. So I'm like, what does this guy even know? Like, so yeah, I take a break. If it really hurts me, I take a little break. I take a step back and I really rant about it to my sister or my boyfriend and they're like great supporters or Amber. I just like talk to it that this happened,
this is the
so
best
yeah.
thing when I use my own product and
Yeah.
I just show that this is effective. Like if nobody support me, my product support me, and
Yeah.
we do it together.
Yeah.
Like uh, or this is he or she,
I would say
or
it's a she.
it's a
Yeah, it's a
she.
she.
This is great, and it means that actually everybody can start using this.
Yeah.
What we need to do to start using it? Register,
Yeah.
or what's
You
the
can you
rules?
can you can just sign up. It's ambermind.ai. You can just go and you can sign up. We have two plans. We have a free plan and we have a premium plan. So you can if you don't want to pay, you have 25 messages free that sort of refreshes every 24 hours. So you can use that. But with the premium feature, you get unlimited messages and more features like memory and other features that I'm working on rolling out. So you'll get more features in premium, but if you don't want to pay for it, if you can't pay for it, which eventually was my mission, to make it accessible and free or affordable. So yeah, like you have both the plans and you can choose from them.
Hmm. And the more Amber speak with people, the more she learns.
Yes. So it is going to learn more and more about you and what do you like, what you don't like, what is your coping mechanism, how do you talk, or what makes you nervous, what makes you sad. So the more you talk, the more it learns and the more helpful it can be in delivering you a more personalized response.
This is actually brilliant because it's I don't need to go to my friend to the kitchen and like spill over everything, like all that. I can just leave my friendship like without all that content,
Yeah.
put the content to Amber, and when you are refreshed, you can go to your friends and speak something about something else, not
Yeah.
about your pain,
Yeah. Yeah.
or like some, because sometimes it's so unhealthy um, for some people. Like I contain the pain of my friends, because this is really, I contain,
Mhm.
because if someone give me a huge pain or grief or a lot of disturbance, uh, it's here, like I can carry that. And this is a healthy way to speak to Amber, for example. Yeah, and it's great. And also I remember about this, we mentioned the thing, like you already mentioned that you are from India, and India is so traditional, and the role of woman is also so like written in the stone,
Yeah.
like what women are, what she should do, and what she should do for family, like have to, must. And you absolutely flew from, like
Or
you
ran.
and do absolutely, like you are like a feminist, like you are the female leader, this the startup building. And maybe it was gradually when you step out from that, or how you can describe this way, from the influence of the family, from your mother or father expectations, that we or like for example, many of us struggle that our parents look at us and like we are disappointment, you know, like you should be like you have to sit here with the children, and what are you doing? And no matter what, you can own the company, international company, but anyway you can remain disappointment for your parents. How is for you?
Yeah, I think it's been a journey because my family, even though pretty educated and everything, I think this is very common in India for families to be educated, but still very, very like what do you call it? Very traditional, as you said, and not be that open, especially with, they're of course they want to get you educated, but then they're like, don't get too educated because then I don't understand what's too educated even, but don't get too educated to a point that you don't really find someone to get married to, or you're too smart than your spouse, or and then there's also this timeline put for women, or at least the women that I know, that, at 24, you get married and then you have like kids and then you serve your husband. It's there. It's there in different intensities, I would say. For some families, this doesn't really exist. For some, it does. For some, it's more, strict. I was somewhere in the middle where my parents did want me to do well in my life. They never said that you should not do anything, but they also wanted me to not be too independent. And, they weren't very happy with the fact that I stopped taking money from them and I was, earning my own money. I was doing things on my own. So they didn't really appreciate that, she's getting too independent. So that was there. There was a journey that they came into acceptance because I was like, this is just what it is. This is what I want to do with my life. But yeah, we still get into arguments where they were like, you should get married, you should get married, and you should get married. That still happens. But I think we do function better when we're really, like hundreds of kilometers apart because it just makes things easier for both of us. Because I think I understand where they're coming from, but that's not my narrative of the life that I want to live. It's a different narrative. So yeah, I think it can be very hard for women or girls to sort of come out of their this whole bubble and sort of fight for themselves. But I think it's very important to live whatever dream you've dreamt of, and whatever you want to be, because you're capable. And I don't think you should be dependent on someone. So you should know how to, I think this is something that my mom said to me when I was younger, even though we've had our ups and downs, that you should know how to earn money and feed yourself, because that is very important. You cannot be dependent on, a man in your life, or even, whoever you want to be, or like your parents or whoever. You can't really be dependent on someone. You need to learn how to be independent. But we've still had our own definitions of being independent, and, how independent you should be, or how much you should earn, or, all of those things. I think they still keep coming. But yeah, it's a journey.
And what advice can you give to the women who still in this net, in this family dynamic, and they are staying but dreaming, only like looking to this side? What can you advise them from your experience?
Think like, Nike's tagline is just do it. I would say just do it. Do whatever you want to do. And eventually I think your family, when they see you doing good and you're standing your ground, I think they budge. They'll understand. And if they don't, then honestly, you don't, this is something my therapist said to me, that, you don't really, owe so much to your parents that you lose your own identity. That's not how it's supposed to be. So it's okay if you're not being accepted for a while, but eventually you'll be happier in your life. That's okay too. But if you wanna, um, yeah, I would just say do it. Just get out and figure out what you want to do, because it is hard, but I think it's harder trying to live a life you didn't want. I think that's hard.
This
That's
is
even
yeah.
harder. And then you just keep getting frustrated and frustrated and frustrated, and that never really ends well for anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We know that if we for a long time suppress ourselves, we can get psychosomatic, we can have some disease, different like mental, physical, a lot of variation of struggling. And this is crucial. Like how magic happen. You should take action.
Yeah,
This is the one easy thing. Like who succeed? Who get up and do something, not the most clever, the most beautiful, the most with diplomas, or like the people who continuously taking action, doing something. Get up in the morning and do something. Get
yeah,
up and do something. And this is we also for me it was important thing, like this is actually adulthood, when I take responsibility for myself, my mental health, my life, and my startup or the company or wherever I own, because I own my life, my lifetime, and my energy and the company. And because of that, it's a connection for us, like me, ZZP. I work in Netherlands as a ZZP. The startup owner, the solo entrepreneur, like everything starts from me. And
yeah,
if I am sick or I have low energy, nothing working. And because of that, for me, my mental well-being is
yeah,
crucial because I'm the center and I should be stable. And that means that I care about the rest, about the sleep, about everything. And some of the entrepreneurs, they separate the rest from the work.
yeah,
And they have a tendency to die in this work. But when you, if you die, the work also die with
yeah,
you. And I see the rest with the work. Like this is one thing. The better you rest, the better you work. The
yeah,
more energy you have, you collect, you like contain in you, then more action you can take. And this is amazing.
yeah.
And what else I want to ask you? Maybe you want to something add in our like I ask you.
No, I think I agree. I think especially I am a big advocate for work-life balance, but I think for entrepreneurs, that's not really a thing. I think work-life balance is for employees, and it should be important for if you're working for someone else, take a break. But if I'm working for myself and I'm all I've got, especially now that I feel it, that I've 500 users, I have so many people I'm answerable to. Soon I'll be able to fundraise, and then I'm answerable to even more people. I don't have that balance. So in the middle of the day, I really need to find out what I can do, which is just for myself. For me, I used to go on a run or I work out. An hour is for me every day, no matter what. So that doesn't go anywhere. So I think as an entrepreneur, even as an employee, it is important to keep your mental health yours and really, really take care of it. So I agree with what you said.
Yeah, this is the interesting thing that um, we we like help others, no, but also help ourselves through that. Like this is also a connection between the founder and the project,
Yeah,
because my project is like a mirror of me, of something, and we grow together. And this is actually beautiful. I mean, this is the beautiful um, the process, especially when you already get somewhere and you look back and think, oh, it's such a journey. I can write a beautiful memoir. And actually, in the hard times, this supportive idea, when I have hard times, I think like this is about the to say yes to my life. There was a book,
yeah,
Viktor Frankl, like he thought that he will be released from the concentration camp and will publish his book. And he lived with that idea that I will describe. I will write, I will publish, I already publish, and this support to continue the way with a vision. And what is your vision? How you see fully like flourishing Amber? What, how many users?
No, I think no amount of users is gonna make me happy. Um, I think it's more of the impact that I want to leave, that, people found the help that they needed. I'm able to help employees get somewhere better. So the more people I help, the better it gets. But there are so many people in the world, so no matter how many, I cannot put a number to it, but that's how, I want it to be, of course, I want it to be big, but I want it to be big and the mission getting bigger with it, exploring more horizons and sort of seeing how many people can I really help with this product. The more people I help, I'm not sure if I'm going to be happy because I'm just a very unhappy person in that way, that I'm never happy with whatever I've achieved because I just want more. But I think that would make me really, really satisfied, that at the end of the day, when I go to sleep, I'm like, yes, okay, I did something with this project that I started. That would be the end goal.
And what is the main, like maybe the people often argue, like why they don't want to use the product? Like, what is the
I
arguments?
think I've honestly, I think it's more of the side of therapists and mental health professionals where I've
Mhm.
been seeing this resistance, that they don't want AI products to be coming in. I see their points. I think they're valid, that's a valid feeling to have. But it's like, when you have technology come in, for example, when Gmail came in and it reduced the amount of paper mail going on because everyone was emailing each other and texting each other, the same with WhatsApp. You know, After a while, things change because new technology comes, and it is on you to adapt them or, stand against the wave. If you stand against the wave, you're gonna get hurt eventually. But if you really like go with the flow, like a lot of therapists that are up to the idea, they've always come to me like, I wasn't up to the idea of AI before this, but it's not going anywhere, so I might as well embrace it and help you from my, clinical perspective, to help you see things that you might be missing, which I appreciate. I can only see so many things. So if you come to me as a mental health professional and you have some concerns, and I think um like not like constructive criticism, if you have that for me, that something that I can work on, that helps me, and that also helps you. So the latest person that I talked to, who was a therapist, she's like, a lot of adolescents are using generalist AI tools like ChatGPT. But I think Amber would be a safer alternative for them because they're not going to stop using it, which is true. They're not going to stop using it. But if you just hand them generalist tools, which can be dangerous, you would rather have that, or would you rather have something which is safe and you can talk to the founder who's accessible more than, bigger founders would, and you can build it side by side. So we have therapists who are like, maybe you should tweak this, or maybe we can have that. And I'm like, okay, I've taken the feedback, and I can put it in the logs, and I can sort of start working on it, which helps both of us. So I think the resistance that this side I'm seeing, I think it's valid, but I also think that it's high time that people start accepting it and working with it rather than working against it, because it doesn't really do anyone any good. It just, yeah, it's unnecessary.
Yeah, this is interesting. The motivation for therapists, why they not accept, because of some harm concern, like it can do harm, or they scared of the competition. Like if everybody can talk to Amber, why I will have my job?
Yeah, I think that's sort of where it comes from. But I believe that even as therapists, a lot of therapists lose their patience because they commit suicide, or they're not doing okay, or a lot of it happens all the time. And as I think people say, that you can't really save another person, and that is true. So even with platforms like, Amber, these things can happen, but we can build as many guardrails around it to make sure that it doesn't happen, that it is a safe space, and do whatever in my power to make it safe, right? So I think the safety concern is valid, and this is something that we're constantly working on to make it better and better. But the other concern of being replaced, I think at some point I'm going to get replaced. Maybe an investor replaces me, or maybe AI replaces the whole founder thing. I need to learn how to work with it rather than be like, oh, it's gonna replace me. If you think it's gonna replace you, it's a problem for you. And you should go and learn more things. You should do more courses, or you should work with these apps so you have clients, but you also recommend these apps. So I think it's more of a personal insecurity where it really comes from, and this is something that they should work on. And instead of really, just going and critiquing, like some people told me that because you're not a clinician, you can't be in this field. I disagree. I think this is exactly where I'm supposed to be because clinicians don't have time to build a technical platform. If they did, the world would be a much better place, which is why you need people like me who come in and build these platforms with you to make it better for people. So I think it's more of a lack of understanding and insecurity, like mixed in.
Yeah, and from the legal perspective, for the Netherlands field, it's okay that really from the legal perspective, like it's okay to do the application related to mental health
Yeah.
because like it's okay.
Yeah. Unless and until we're not sharing the data, which we don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally fine. We follow all the privacy policies because we're based out of different countries.
Mm-hmm.
We are essentially a US product, but we follow all the GDPR guidelines and any other guidelines that come from different countries and different states. So we follow all of those, and everything is like foolproof. And yeah, we're not selling any data. I really don't care what you're talking about, so you're all good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just when you like describe the situation, I heard from my colleagues and psychiatrists. They describe the lack of psychiatrists, for example, in the Netherlands, and the people who really like urgency. They need medicine. They have really something crucial, and they should wait 3 months in a row
Yeah,
for just the consultation, and we don't know how long and this is like in this situation what they can say, like anything can be helpful in the case that they just don't have people.
yeah,
I mean, what they can afford, like what they can propose. And the Amber is really like in this situation is brilliant if we have no people about what we're talking, like we make this is great, I think.
yeah. I think so too.
This is actually so. And how long you do that, uh,
Um,
your startup?
I think it's been two years now. But I had to redo earlier product that I started with. I had to what do you say? Redo the idea and make it a little different to fit the market. So just yeah, but I've been doing this in the space for 2 years, 2.5 years.
2.5 years. And like from like you work from the inside the 1 year or so, and then start inviting the people to use it.
Um, Actually, it only took me a month to make Amber, so it was only a month, which took me to make and test and launch it. And as soon as we launched it, we had users coming in, so it wasn't even like in testing phase. We did want to make it like, I wanted people to just test it, like 10, 20 people, give me feedback, but people just kept referring people, and it just like sort of blew up, and everyone liked it. So yeah, it's just like it happened, but it took me a month. And Amber's been around for I think 4 or 5 months. I launched in November, and since then it's been like just growing.
Mm-hmm. Great, great. I'm just like I'm really happy we discussed that because after our conversation, I see more good things in that. That it's really there is a space for that, and there is a big space because truly I see that some people they just need the short conversation, and that will be enough, because not everybody needs so deep or specific intervention. Because sometimes, like from the perspective of the therapist, the clients need that
Yeah,
intervention, but the clients don't want,
yeah,
uh, and they just want to live their life without super like transformation, or like dig deeper
yeah,
and change, and this, like, for the greater part of the population, is truly valuable. um, yeah, and I'm just curious to try it myself. How we try the GPT also, like, let's I ask this or that, or
mhm,
for sure, your example is brilliant when you prepare for the presentation, for
yeah,
example, and you have the certain goal, the certain event you have, like, and this is like type of preparation, and like short-term goal oriented, or like something, and this is really so nice. And you are a living truth that the solo entrepreneurs, like the female founder of the startup, this is nothing extraordinary in that. Like, you also can do it, you can
yeah.
learn, you can start, you can continue, and don't like pay attention to any bullshit of any like people who try to convince you that you are not enough, like you are not valuable, you are not capable, not clever enough, and all that, and you are woman. Just, and this is also, I really value, I mean, I'm just happy to have you here, like a living truth, that this is absolutely real for everyone,
Yeah.
everyone who listen to that,
Yeah,
and
anyone
just do
can do
it.
this. Yeah, just do it. Like I should make it my line, but it's Nike, so I'm gonna get sued for it. But just do it.
Just do it. Yeah. Yeah, I will, where I will post our conversation, I will put a link
Yeah,
on Amber to try to, like, because it's really a help also, to start using the giving feedback. It's just support your
yeah.
project and support yourself also. I'm sure that everyone receives something valuable from the conversation. Yeah, and I grateful that you find in your super busy agenda with all your, I suppose, with your presentation, you find the time to talk with me about that. Yeah,
No,
I'm just,
thank you
I'm,
for inviting me and having me. It was it was lovely conversation. I didn't even notice that, 1 hour flew by, so it was super fun.
yeah, and your last word, or like advice or something, what you can just to finish our life.
Yeah, I think, take care of your mental health. You don't always need to, you know, do everything yourself. You can ask for help. So ask for help, therapist, psychiatrist, your friend, or, getting to these applications, not just Amber. You could use, there's plenty on the market, so you can use whatever you like. But yeah, just get the help that you need, because at the end of the day, it's better for you. And the other thing I can say, that's not a big deal to be a founder today. Anyone can do it. You can polish your skills, you can be whoever you want to be. So if you want to start a company or something, just go for it. Like it is hard. I have hard days, but at the end of the day, if you really build something valuable, it's really good for you, and good for you to see that you've really helped people. So yeah,
Yeah, this is nice kind of tiredness. Like,
yeah,
I'm
it is.
tired, but I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, see you then somewhere in the field,
Yes,
and
yes, I will.
yeah, and bye for now.
Yes, thank you for having
Yeah,
me. Bye.
bye, bye.